Let's take you now from the world of sports to the world of cars. The BMW 5 Series is now the third longest wheelbase model from BMW India after the 7 and the 3 Series. Now, let's get you a little bit more. This is a complete lowdown on the new 5 Series LWB in its 530 Li configuration.
Now, the video that we will show you, the drive, will give you a real-world perspective of the Mercedes E-Class rival from BMW. The exterior styling, boot space, side profile, rear space, basically everything you need to know. Check it out.
It's been 52 years since the birth of the 5 Series lineage, and now we have the 8th generation model finally here in India. Now honestly, it's 2024. It's been a while since the 8th generation 5 Series has been launched in the global market. So why has it taken that long? Well, for that, you need to move to the side and see just how big this car has become, because you see, this is now the 5 Series long wheelbase, or LWB. That makes it the third long wheelbase model from BMW India after the 7 Series and the 3 Series Grand Limousine. Now the i5, they opened bookings for it a little while back in the Indian market, but this is the one with the internal combustion engine under that hood and a really long wheelbase, which means that the space behind is going to be really good. Something that will now make the 5 Series take on the India spec Mercedes-Benz E-Class, which also is presented to us in a long wheelbase format. But before we talk about those numbers, let's first talk about the new design, because that seems to be always a controversial bit with BMW, right? Gladly, however, they have retained the traditional shape for the kidney grills somewhat, but it doesn't look as in your face as it did with the 7 Series or the i7. It's also got this contrasting effect on this particular car, and if you were to look at it closely, it's also got a transparent lining. That's essentially for the lighting. So if you want to bling it up a little bit, you want to illuminate that grille, you can do that. Now the other design bit that I really like, which I don't think is too bling but really sporty, is this little dimple that you get on the bonnet. This is where the BMW roundel sits. It will remind you of the BMW M3. So that, I think, is a very nice design detail. Moving back to the grille, these panels here, they will open or shut depending on when the engine needs cooling or when the car needs better aerodynamic efficiency. Speaking of which, the overall aerodynamic efficiency of the front end has improved by a big margin, and that's because of the new chisel look that you see in the front. Now the headlights, the shape of it, that was received with quite a bit of polarized opinion, is what I believe on the internet, but let me know what do you think. To me, here in the flesh, it actually doesn't look that bad. You can just take one glance at this car and you know it's a 5 Series. So it still has a lot of those elements, especially that 4-eye look that they like with the face, that is retained with these LED headlamps. So you don't get laser on this, you get these LEDs. It's got that nice blue highlighting right beneath it. The DRLs, however, they have changed shape. You have these almost vertical DRLs that you get with this, but this is a new design philosophy that we've seen. Everything starting from the X1 has this, right? So that has been carried forward even to the 5 Series. Moving lower down into the bumpers, you see further chiseled or sharp surfaces. Everything is nice and angular, and that shape of the bumper should again tell you it belongs to the 5 Series. So overall, I think the front end looks really good. Not a big fan of this color. It's got a slight bit of that pearlescent tinge to it, but I've seen the car in black and in white as well, and I think it just looks stunning in both those color combinations. How it looks in the typical range of BMW blues, that is something that I really want to see. Now when you move to the side, you again see that satin finish continuing here on the window line. You'll see that all around. All of that looks quite nice, but here on the wing mirror, I think it looks a bit much, especially with that little side camera. I'm not a big fan of that. Overall, the finish looks nice though. You also get this 5 lettering here in the Hofmeister kink. You see the kink right here, and in that panel you see the 5. Now this is not illuminated like the grille. This one, however, is done up in white, and it's done up in a material that reflects quite nicely when light falls on it. So hopefully that should add to a little bit of the bling. Now if I were to just open the front door, you'll see that the 5 lettering is missing on the B pillar, whereas on the global spec models, you will see that. So essentially, from the B pillar on is where this car differentiates itself from the global models. This is where the long wheelbase of the car comes into play. But like I said, we'll come to the numbers in a bit. Moving to the back, you see the badging right here. This says the 530 Li, but you will see another small change right here. The 5 is slightly bigger, the 30 Li is smaller. So within the same nomenclature, within the same kind of badging, they are now telling you very loud and clear, this is the 5 Series and this is going to be the variant. However, the 30 Li is pointing towards a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, but we'll come to that in a bit. Power tailgate is what you get. It hides beneath it a 500-litre boot space. And beneath that floor is going to be your space saver wheel. So it's not really going to intrude into your boot space. All the 500-litre is completely usable. And to me, it looks quite nice and sizable. Even the loading lid doesn't seem too high. So putting all your luggage in shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, in terms of the tail lights, a very sleek looking design. This is a design philosophy that we've been seeing on other BMW cars as well. So again, a page out of the 7 Series or the i7 design that you see here with the new 5. Now on the side, you're going to see 18-inch wheels. Now these aren't the aero wheels that you saw on the i5. Those are going to be more aerodynamically efficient. But if you want something like that, you can always say please to BMW, and BMW would be pleased to give you that at an additional cost. You also see nice black skirts, which adds to that sporty appeal of the vehicle. I think it looks quite nice, especially when you look at it from the side. So despite this being a long wheelbase vehicle, it still looks pretty proportionate. The only thing that probably you will not like is the size or the diameter of those wheels. But like I said, you can always upsize them if you so need. The doors, nice and big, and they almost open 90 degrees, so getting in and out of the car is not going to be a problem at all.